Hello everyone and welcome. You're listening to the music Sequentia by Susan Alexandra. It's your DNA set music. I think it's very soothing. It's only 4 notes and then recombinations of those 4 notes. Your DNA only has 4 notes. A, B, C, D. It's how the universe was made. Scientists have come out with new information showing that your DNA can be reprogrammed by words and music. I would like somebody to give me a sound check here. If you can hear me okay, that music just puts me in an otherworldly kind of place, and I think my voice kind of goes. I want to share with you some information about our frequency-based universe. In looking at this article about scientists prove DNA can be reprogrammed with words and music, you're looking at some of Bruce Lipton's ideas, biology of belief, some of Emoto's ideas about yelling and screaming at water that you hate it and then it comes up looking all craggy and ugly, or telling it that you love it and then it comes out beautiful crystals. So the idea that everything in the universe is a frequency, that water frequencies plus nitrogen frequency equals oxygen, and water minus nitrogen equals sulfur. And for those of you interested in biology and the way the world was formed, this is the very first part of how we came to be. Oxygen plus hydrogen equals nitrogen. There's all the bits and pieces, just like that sequentia of putting the music together with only 4 notes and then recombining them again and again in different ways, we create music. That's the same way our universe was born. Water minus oxygen equals hydrogen. Water minus hydrogen equals ammonia, or the Q rate of water, what makes water work when it goes into the body. Carbon plus hydrogen equals carbon dioxide, and on and on and on as it begins to create vitamin C, something humans can't produce on their own, and neither can guinea pigs. And as it gets more and more complicated, as all of these things collide and make new stuff, you can see that our biochemistry begins to come into being. And then our DNA, and then reproduction, and then the universe. So we want to talk about our frequency-based universe today. We're going to talk about information that deals with your being and your wellness. We'll be spending about 2 hours together, and if I remember, we'll have a little break about halfway in between. We're going to talk about 2 different kinds of vocal profiling. We put a microphone in front of your face. We look at the frequencies of your voice as they are expressed as a holographic representation of your body. This whole idea comes out of the concept of your voice is an expression of who you are from your very DNA to the very core of your being to the very outside influences of all the people around you. This is part of something that we are calling a giveaway. Give away and express. I'm still hearing that music, so I'm going to have to turn it down. And I don't know how to turn it down, so I'll just leave it till it goes off. A giveaway as in providing an avenue for you, and giveaway as providing you information. So we have, I think, 6 or 7 software programs that we are giving away in a series. This is our 3rd rotation of that, and we are being able to touch more and more people as you guys begin to help us and say to people, I just took this phenomenal course and you'll never guess, they're giving away software and they're doing this and they're doing this. And it's going to help us be self-responsible and help us with this concept of self-health. Because conventional medicine certainly isn't helping us a lot, and we're going to have to take those steps to do it on our own. I'm going to tell you a story. A real story that happened within the last couple of months. We had a woman working with us, actually my aunt, here at the center, and this is the Institute of BioAcoustic Allergy and Sound Health, and that's who's sponsoring all of these classes for you, the people. Well, she worked here, and she was 81 years old and kind of putzed around and did what she wanted to do. She did travel with me for several years as my bodyguard. She was a trained bodyguard. But she had gotten a little slower, being 81, but she still worked every day. And we were in a crisis here with no electricity for about 2 weeks or so. And she was having trouble breathing one night. It was so hot. It was running 102, 104 in the daytime with no electricity and no air conditioning. So she had stuck it out. But this one particular night, it was so hot. And so her granddaughter's boyfriend took her to the hospital and dropped her off and went on to work. Everybody else in the family was working. So when we finally found her the next day, they had put her in intensive care and said to us that she had expressed the desire to die. No, we don't believe that for a minute. She was up rollerblading and helping people and being a wonderful support to whoever was here. So they decided in intensive care they would take away her oxygen, her water, and her food. Now 6 days later, this woman was still alive. And we snuck her some water. Actually, her daughter snuck her some water. No we about it. And she began to rally because she was a tough old bird. And at that point, they were very upset, the hospital, and they came in and unhooked her pacemaker, and she died within the hour. Obamacare, or whatever you want to call it, affordable health care, and this was in Time magazine not too long ago, red cover, How to Die. Anybody who goes into the hospitals over 74 years of age, the hospital makes the decision of whether or not that person should live. And oh, by the way, if you're one of the children, they'll give you a little bonus check for letting your parents just pass away. I told her children, one of which worked here also, that we should have told the hospital she had a job. She was paying taxes. Likely they would have let her live. So then she was a contributing member. But that's what our healthcare has come to. And in almost every community, they're building a hospice. In this community, it's called the Laurels. And that's where they send people that they have chosen to die. I don't like that concept, but I can't go against the government. I guess I could, but I'd be in a lot of trouble and probably be in jail and couldn't do anything at that point. But I've decided all along when Obamacare came out that we wanted to help. We wanted to put in the hands of the people the ability to self-help. So we chose the most prominent problems that we thought were going on. Post-traumatic stress disorder for the returning soldiers. Nutrition consultant because our food is just atrociously devoid of nutrients. Radiation exposure because of Fukushima. And all the radiation that's coming in here that's ending up being cell signaling issues like Parkinson's and ALS. The radiation in our cells is hurrying our demise. Parkinson's because of all the GMOs. Allergies because of vaccination. There's an incredible relationship between allergies and vaccinations. Countervailing the season, and that's all about flu shots and chemtrails and so forth. We are also doing nano voice, which we have already done. There are 7 of them altogether, and I can't remember which is which. I am going to stop that music because I love it and I'm getting distracted by it. So we are putting all of this together. I think this is the 3rd or 4th in the series. So we put this together so you can have this free software and the 7 or 8 softwares all addressing current problems with our universe, especially in the U.S. We will help you set up a bioacoustic center in your community. People who are enlightened want the newest and best information, the most futuristic information. This is Star Trek medicine, people. We can get rid of anaphylactic shock for people. We can help them with space travel and not have to lose bone. We can help bones heal faster. We provide the information to the person's brain in terms of frequencies so the person can heal themselves. We can help get rid of gout. We can reverse macular degeneration. We can look at when real labor is going to start, and on and on and on. You can go to our site under Information Central. Oh, that was the wrong thing to open. This is our site. We'll go to the home. And then under Information Central, lots of articles and publications. We've been published in the Journal of Bioinformatics. There's been over 30 books that included us. One book that's totally us, several books just chapters. We're doing a new book with Dr. Robert Rogers about the many faces of Parkinson's and how our food supply is really causing that cell signaling disease. So the 2 short hours that we'll be spending together, you're going to be able to go to soundhealthoptions.com, and I'll be giving this to you several times. Allergies.html, and you will be able to download the software, the articles, the charts, the textbook. Just double click on this textbook and you'll get it. Abacus, Allergies. You can register right online, and if you are a newbie person and having trouble, you may have to register manually. So call our office on Monday, 740-698-9119, and ask to speak to John. 9 to 10, he'll be tied up with a new class that's coming in. We're going to be doing a week-long class on allergies. This is a 30-day free trial, but it's likely that it's going to be up here for a long time, and you can just come back and register again and again. What we would like to happen is for you to join our Guardian network so that every month you get a software. And what we are giving away to the public now is just very simple software. So as we go along, there's more and more complicated software, like how to deal with cancer and adrenal burnout and Alzheimer's. We are trying to put a group of bioacoustic practitioners together in every community. There will probably be an old-timer that can help you with putting that together. We will help you by going on radio shows with you and announcing you as the local person. And you will be working with somebody, hopefully, that is already trained. So helping spread the word is what we're really hoping to do. I'm Sherry Edwards. I guess I should have told you that beforehand. I run the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. And you'll read in a Duke Encyclopedia of New Medicine that I pioneered this technique. This protocol came from very unusual hearing and vocal abilities that I have. But I knew that when I died, it was going to die with me, that talent. Some of my family members have this talent, but not to the extent where that sounds egotistical when I say not to the extent that I have. I could have stayed psychic and intuition based and probably made tons of money. There are people out there making $250 an hour just give people their sounds and their colors. But I wanted this to go beyond me. I wanted it to be part of our future. There's an article out there by AT&T. Now, AT&T, they say bioacoustics is the medicine of the future. And people, it started here, and you're going to see a lot of it out there, but it started here. And we have an old-timer on here with us. Kaj is here. She's been with us for about 15 years. You can go look at the participant list and anybody that you want to talk to. Right-click, and it'll come up a little chat, so you can talk to other people who are here. I so admire people who are listening and watching this on the phone. I just think that's incredible that they would even attempt to watch all we're doing on a little phone. We are recording this. It will be available for the next 10 days as a recording, and people can still get the software and the class. Then we're going to put it up on YouTube. They won't be able to get the software, but they'll be able to watch the class. So if you have friends across the world, across the nation, even on another planet, and you think they could benefit from this, from having the ability to stop an anaphylactic shock, to stop macular degeneration, to stop body pain, get in touch with them and tell them this is available. Let's bring together. Thank you, Kaj, even though you wrote that privately. A very short occasional echo. Usually that is when someone has a mic open. I don't see anybody with an open mic. See if I could turn this around and maybe it won't do that again. Okay. If you are close, we are located in southeastern Ohio. Clinical service here, classes, we occupy all 3 floors of this building, except the janitor's room and the big gymnasium on the 1st floor. So this is a large place. We don't have a large staff, but we try. We have put out recently an article. It was picked up by thousands of people. Health Concern Prompts Radiation Software Giveaway. And we have put this software up there on a permanent basis. Moonstone, would you put up soundhealthoptions.com/radiationclass.html for everyone? Because this is up there on a permanent basis. We are seeing so many people come into this clinic, and when we get to the root cause of what's going on, it is radiation. We are being poisoned with our food and our water and our air. We can't keep up. We've done 2 special classes about teaching people how to deal with Parkinson's and other cell signaling diseases. We just can't keep up. So take this software, check the people in your community. You know, if you suspect it in your family, do all 5 people, and if they all come up with the same issues, then there's charts located on that site also. So if they have too much plutonium or too much cobalt, there's charts that tell you how that's going to interfere with the body. You can go look at this online and look at the entire article, Health Concerns Prompts Radiation Software Giveaway. And remember that giveaway is a play on words, giving you an avenue away so that you can monitor, have dominion over your own health. Information Central, I've talked to you a little bit about that already. Lots of stories here, lots of pieces of information, lots of videos. There's videos on YouTube of the people that we have helped. There's another secret stash from Joan. How can I stop anaphylactic shock? Joan, are you a practitioner? If you are a practitioner, that's in chapter 6 of your book. Well, Joan, let's see about you becoming a practitioner. Let's work with you until we can get this accomplished if you need that. Or if there's a practitioner near you, we'll work with you that way. There is a video, 2 of them. One, Miracles of Non-Medicine under soundhealthoptions.com/secretstash.html. Moon, if you would put that up, I would appreciate it. I shouldn't say I teach this class because this comes up that this is a group of people teaching this class. Moon helps a lot. Richard helps a lot. So a lot of people putting this together. Today we're going to concentrate on saying goodbye to allergies. And we think this is our prophecy for a new medicine of being able to supply you these tools. A lot of other people talk about it, complain about it, but we are providing the tools to move you forward. Some of the things we're doing, allergies, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, nutrition, these are just some of the things. And as people catch on to how to do these simple ones, we will be providing more and more difficult ones for the community on a trial basis. This is a 30-day trial for you. And that will put you in our system. That will give you access to other classes and other giveaways. We look at this as health for the people, by the people, because certainly conventional medicine is not helping. I should say not helping a lot. Jerry Tennant told me a story about one of his patients had a heart attack, and he sent him to the hospital. He's going to meet him there, and the first thing they did was try to give him a cholesterol-lowering pill or some pill that was going to cause a problem. And the patient said, no, that's the wrong thing. I already have too low cholesterol. That's the problem. And this nurse said, yes, you will take this pill. That's standard operation procedure, standard of care. This is what happens here. And at that point, Dr. Tennant got there and said, no, 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 this is not going to happen here. The standard of care is not applicable here. But they really didn't care. If somebody was outside the norm, I'll give you another case. A woman went to the hospital, had some blood sugar problems, but nothing that was urgent that she couldn't deal with just with food. She had a bowel obstruction, very painful bowel, ended up in the hospital. They gave her Cipro. Cipro is not supposed to be given to anyone with a blood sugar issue, and now the person is on very high amounts of insulin because they ran the blood sugar up into the 400 and 500s and killed the last of the vials of Langerhans in her pancreas already. She's being very careful about. So they didn't know what they were doing, and they were very unprepared for anybody who didn't fit the norm. Then I don't know if you know or not, but your camera is on, and we are looking at, looks like the top of your hair and your ceiling. Sometimes I warn people because they do strange things while they're on camera. The software, the charts, the articles, soundhealthoptions.com/allergies.html, and right below the software is registration. Now, if this is your first time with us, you may have some trouble with registration, and please call the office and do that on Monday. If you haven't registered nutrition, that's the one that helps your computer adjust itself. So if you need that, they'll download that for you on like a 5-day trial or something. We did that 2-3 weeks ago. But they'll get you up and running. You need 32-bit computer, and if you have something different, I think they have instructions for that. And you need a number crunching program like Excel. I am going to turn off Lynn's camera because it's making me dizzy. So it will be up for 10 more days so that you can tell all your friends this is how it's going on. We're going to be using some guinea pigs this evening as we go on. Anybody who would like to be a guinea pig, please raise your hand. Go down to the bottom of the participants list, click that, and it will raise your hand. And let's have some people who haven't been guinea pigs before, maybe some of the new people who are on this. Sorry, couldn't get my mic off quick enough. Okay, Pat, I see you are up first. I will put you down. We need like 3 guinea pigs. We're going to do some real simple things and then graduate to more and more difficult ones. So a little review here. We are going to be working with allergies in another program called Abacus. It's also waiting for you. The BioAcoustic Basics Manual, that's waiting for you on that link. That has been put in there again. There's an instructional PowerPoint supporting articles, and there's a bundle of instructions for your clients called Pastel Folder on how to create PDFs so that you can do most of this over the phone. We are helping people with this and helping them listen to a different kind of phone. This is a regular phone in trying to do this, and it's hard, and it's almost impossible to do it with a cell phone because they're filtered. So this is a regular phone. I'm going to put my mic over here so you can hear it.
This is my voice sound on an ordinary phone. Because my words are muffled, it can be difficult to understand what I'm saying, resulting in misunderstandings and frustration.
Okay, this is a Polycom phone. This is the phone. We use a Voice Station 300, but they have a new HD, and this is what you're hearing.
This is how my voice sounds over phones with Polycom HD voice, which has over twice the clarity of a regular phone. It is easier to understand what I'm saying, which results in better collaboration and increased productivity.
This is the phone that we recommend if you are going to be doing this at a professional level, so that people can call you or they can send you vocal prints. And one of the articles that you want to download is how to have someone send you a vocal print. We have put it in a Word document so that you can take our address off of it and put yours on. We try to supply you the marketing tools to help you out here. There is also a pass-fail folder and read this first and how to interpret all of these charts. We'll be going over and using most of those today and bundling charts. This is your textbook. Download it, soundhealthoptions.allergies.html. And we're putting up that several times because people keep calling back and saying, what did you say? Okay, disclaimer, our attorney makes us do this, put all that in there. You know, I just tell people I'm looking for data, and if they get well, that's their problem. Definitely there's enough sick people to go around. Definitely we need probably one practitioner for every 60 people, and it'd be hard to keep up with 60 people. So there's enough room for everybody. So we're going to talk about vocal profiling, sticking a microphone in front of your face, looking at the frequencies that you are expressing, looking at what those frequencies correlate to in the database that we have been able to put together. Okay, Karen, I see you. Okay, that's good. Thank you for volunteering. We know that the body is able to self-diagnose and to reorganize according to that information. And when we get finished with this, you'll realize you don't need a thing I'm doing, because you carry around with you your own ability to heal yourself, your brain and your voice. Listen to that sound inside your ears. That helps you focus, like hearing your ears ring. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I had to cough. So there is also an article called If You Can Moan, You Can Tone. And that helps you do all of this on your own. What I'm providing to you is just a lazy man's guide to do it. We're going to be talking about the state of your health can be found in the sound of your voice. Not in the words, but in the sound. And we're going to be doing two different types of vocal prints. The one you see on top there, the blue and yellow, that is a frequency domain. It's much more accurate than the bottom one, which is time domain. You can download the bottom one. It's NanoVoice, nanovoice.org. It's a free download. There's a 2-hour class there. There's instructions. Somebody called me the other day and was very upset that they couldn't get their NanoVoice to work. So we went with them online, watching what they were doing. And it ends up they didn't have a microphone. You must have a microphone to do this work. You must have an accurate microphone to do the top frequency domain, and probably any old microphone will do for the bottom NanoVoice. But we are going to show you how to test for allergies just using the Nano. We know that each of us has a morphogenic resonance, or at least that's what Rupert Sheldrake calls it in terms of plants. And they have proven that if they change this electrical potential of a plant, the shape of the leaves will change, the shape of the bark will change. So we're doing this for humans, and we have found out that there's something called a magnetic resonance. Now, magnetics is about making things behave. There's electricity running on wires in your house, but it's the magnetic potential that makes it all go where it ought to go. And if you took a wire and wrapped it with a lot of duct tape, so it's a big ball, the electricity wouldn't run because it runs in that magnetic field around the actual electrical potential. Whoops. My Skype came on there, sorry. So we are looking at magnetic resonance, or the resonance of your voice. We look at the frequencies in between all the notes of your voice. John Edwards, good grief, don't know where that word came from. I was just reading an article about him, I guess. John Apsley here has been working with us somewhat with the radiation and regeneration. He's very concerned about radiation, and he's been familiar with our work for about 20 years when we first worked with a little girl and helped reverse Down syndrome. So I love what he says, and Sherry Edwards' work defines and demonstrates the unifying field theory that defied Einstein, and that is that harmonic resonance that we talk about. When you look at string theory, and they say we're made from these infinitesimal little strings, so they don't know how it all goes together. We do. We played you DNA set to music. Well, what we do controls the RNA. DNA is the pattern. RNA controls the pattern. Math as medicine. Stanford University just accepted a paper of mine, Math as Medicine, for their Medicine X workshop, symposium, whatever they call it. And it's coming up. Our work is becoming known in a lot of different areas. And we're the fountain where the information comes from. There's lots of videos, 12 videos. This is one, Energy Medicine and Sonic Apothecary. I think they're both available on Amazon. We use a 30-second sample of your voice and look at the frequencies. When we started this, we were looking at hours. And the more we cut it down, and more we cut it down, and more we cut it down, we were able to help people with just about a 30-second sample of their voice, and we can see what's going on. This is the free video, Miracles of Non-Medicine. It's available on YouTube, but it's also available under that secret stash address that Winston put up. We invite you to burn copies of this, pass it out, take it to your local library, take it to your lending DVD place, although those are kind of disappearing off the face of the earth. Pass it around to all your people who teach sound, teach healing, teach anything dealing with self-health and self-freedom. So we went to the National Institute of Health because we didn't know what we're doing, still don't completely. And they decided to call us integrative medicine because we have the scientific evidence of safety and efficacy of what we're doing. We don't exactly know how it's working in the body, but people in pain, when you relieve their pain, they just don't care how you did it. They just care that the pain's gone. Now you can talk to Sam at that Polycom place. Thank you for putting that in there, Lou. You don't have to go through him. That's just where I found the recording. So we don't want to fight with Obamacare. We don't want for people to land up in jail. We just want to create a new system that everybody has, and we're trying to make it free to them so that we can take the next step, take control, take dominion. Maybe that's awful. I don't want to fight. I just want to do something better. Bruce Lipton says, if you're fighting something, you can't really grow. And I believe that from a cell level up to a entity life level. We want to help provide this technology before the FDA comes in, does something, or take it over. We'll just go underground. That's what our Guardian Network is set up to do, is to take everybody underground with us so that we can still have control of all this. Because we understand totally that whoever controls this technology controls health and the quality of life. And we want it to be the people. Even when it comes to traveling to other planets, we can help with the loss of bone and muscle strength. So it's not only this planet, but beyond. So one of the first things we would like you to do, and I don't know why this is all messed up here. Let me go back. Audacity. We need to help you. Well, I'm having trouble. See if I can do it over here. Audacity is how we take the WAV file. So Audacity at sourceforge.net. Download this. It's free. Download 2.2. Download the Abacus from us manually. I'm getting aggravated at this computer program. Just because it's operator error, I don't want to accept that. So Abacus, I'm saying goodbye to Allergies. There's where you can download it. And Nano Voice again. That can be downloaded from nanovoice.org. There, hope that makes it clear. When you get all your programs downloaded, you'll need to create folders on your desktop, clients, waves, and GNS. That just stands for Genesis. You can register your programs right online. And I want to show people where that is, because a lot of people are having trouble with it. Once you download the software and the articles, right below the software, just click here to register. And it will bring up a little, looks like an index card. You just fill that out and submit it, and it will send it back to your email. Now, sometimes it's sending it back to people's garbage files, trash files. What are they called? Spam. Yes, your spam file. So check in there. So your microphone. 3 different microphones we use for accurate work. The Samsung, it's expensive, it's heavy, it's sturdy. Logitech, the orange one here, it's very breakable, fragile. It's hard plastic. The Dynax USB, it was $15 when they started a couple of months ago, and I guess the more they sell, the higher they're sending up the price, but that's still a good price for a microphone. It's rubber. It's hard to break. Each of these have their own sound card inside them. That's what we like about it. We hope eventually that you will be joining Guardians of the People, where every month we have a different class. Allergies is just one of it. So here we go. Audacity, downloading that. Abacus, goodbye to Allergies. We're going to practice with the Nano Voice, practice with making a PDF file, and practice with HyperHealth. You can get a lot of information from HyperHealth about almost anything. And you can get a free trial version of that by going to our site, going to the home page, and down at the bottom of that home page, there is a free trial for HyperHealth. So you can look up things like edema or lymphedema or whatever you happen to pain, or you happen to be needing for the day, and it'll tell you the nutrients that go with it and the genes and a lot of other information. Very good site. So in our work here at the clinic, and we are open to the public, depending on the things that we're working on, and we're working on biodiet now and another project on lying, and doing that one for very good cause and helping some people. But lack of methylation seems to be what's causing more allergies. Methylation is your ability to use your incoming resources. So if you're eating an apple and it has a lot of catalase in it, which cleans up your blood, that's catalase for the apple. You need to translate it to catalase in a form that your body can use. And that's sort of a short way to explain methylation. Same thing with almost anything. You know, bananas are full of potassium, but that's banana potassium. It's not human potassium. So you need to change that to a cell salt. So methylation. Lack of appropriate digestive enzymes. A lot of people with type A blood have trouble with not enough enzymes. They can't use protein very well. And the other is sulfur, which has become a biggie. Sulfur is the cofactor for vitamins and a lot of amino acids. So if you don't have enough sulfur, then those things can't be digested. And you can buy something called BioSulf, BioSulf, on the internet. You know, shop around and get some good ones. If you get a digestive enzyme, get one that's food sourced, like Nourish, Nuriche, or Nature Sunshine. I have turned that over to the web person. They'll probably take care of that on Monday. But just make one up. Just put in 5 numbers and see what it comes up to. HyperHealth now is up to version 10, and you have to pay for it each year. It's about $60 a year, and well worth it. It will save you lots and lots of time. And when you guys hear me taking off on another subject here, I am responding to the chat room. So you can pull that down and watch what we're doing here too. Inflammation, a lot of the time, will cause allergies. Radiation causes inflammation. You get rid of the inflammation, and a lot of the times the diseases will clean up. Diabetes is one that's inflammation. Heart disease. There is something called nanobacteria that attacks the heart pericardium, and it deals with how the body uses calcium. So those are some of the kinds of things that can show up in this report. Genetic proteins, and we look at the proteins before we look at the genes. There's actually genes that make proteins that make your enzymes. And keeping your liver clean is a really good idea. And there's silymarin, and there's a lot of nice herbal remedies for cleaning up your liver. So pollutants like radiation, toxins in our food, aspartame, immunizations absolutely cause inflammation. Measles causes inflammation in the nerves, the measles mumps rubella shot. DPT causes problems with the nerve signal. So a lot of things going on, stress. And pathogens. Pathogens, we recommend something called nutrabiotic grapefruit seed extract. You can also use D-mannose, which will go to the cell, which is a type of sugar that also fights pathogens. Sulfur fights pathogens. Palmitic acid fights pathogens. So certainly pathogens can cause problems, even cancer. We had a guy come here and they said he had cancer of the bowel, and we looked at it and we couldn't see the cancer. And so we recommended that he just have the operation to remove this growth, and it was a bag of worms that had attached itself to his bowel. And they read it as cancer, even though we couldn't find any cancer biomarkers. This is a methylation map, and you can download this from heartfixer.com.amri. You can see that at the top there. I will go ahead and try to grab this and put it in for you. About 50 pages of information, and it shows you where you have a problem. One is how you detox. 2 is how you create energy. 3 is how the body repletes itself, replenishes its DNA. And 4 and 5 is how you use your resources. And a lot of the things that we're seeing right now, they can't process methionine. Again and again, methionine and glutathione, those are the 2 biggies, and those are the 2 problems that you get from vaccination. So as we fill out this information for people, we begin to see that this person can't use nitric oxide or nitric oxide synthase, which is cell respiration. They're going to be tired. Their kidneys are going to be stressed. They have tetrahydrobiopterin as a problem. So their immune system is going to be stressed. Their muscles are going to be sore and stiff, dimethylglycine, trimethylglycine. So we look at all of this in combination. It's in a program called Methylation Mapping that we have, and that's one of the professional programs, although we have provided that to our guardian people. So we look at a lot of things with allergies. We look at wheat, we look at eggs, we look at milk, 3 main things, we look at vaccinations. But mainly, we combine it with this methylation mapping. So what is an allergy? What's an allergy and a sensitivity? It can be chronic rhinitis, and I have found something that will take care of that. Well, if you're looking at allergies like wheat. But Nutrabiotic now has a nose spray. It's like one of those little neti pots where you stuff sulfur up your nose. But this is already done as a nose spray. And all you have to do is use it like once a month. And it takes care of all the garbage up in your sinuses and your nose. So there's a difference between an allergy and a sensitivity. A sensitivity just causes you a little bit of problem. An allergy is usually life-threatening. IgG, immunoglobulin G, is a D sharp, and that'll show up as an allergy that will manifest in about 4 hours. An IgE, and that's the note of G, will manifest almost immediately. Within 20 minutes of you eating bread, it'll stuff up your nose. So this starts with making good liver enzymes to help support your immune response. Asthma is another thing that happens. It can happen by itself. We've had people come in here who were allergic to plastic in the water bottles, and they had a constant couldn't breathe, and we were able to try that. So rhinitis, rhino meaning nose, asthma, or combination of the 2. Also begins to combine with ears, and your ears get stuffed up. Sometimes your ears will get wet and running. That usually always is Epstein-Barr virus that is stealth and just hides in your ears. So there's the grapefruit seed extract as a pill form and as a liquid. We use the liquid to put a few drops in cleaning water when we write down phones. Also, it's good, believe it or not, for brown recluse spider bites. We have helped people with 2 or 3 spider bites. This has in it something called anti-hematoglutinin. And I don't know if I have it up here, but hematoglutinin is what they put in shots. Vaccinations to make them adhere more to your cells. So this grapefruit seed extract has a natural anti-hematoglutinin. So here's the word, Hemagglutinin. So it doesn't allow any of the bacteria, viruses, phages to adhere. This would be really good to use if you were forced to get your kids vaccinated. Taking this stuff, put it on the site, take the pills internally. Now, this oil tastes terrible. It tastes like a skid mark. I kid you not. It's having a worse alum attack on your tongue. If you've ever had alum in your mouth or an astringent of some kind. Great stuff. Conjunctivitis in your eyes, another kind of allergy, dermatitis, skin, hives, itchy hives, bubbly hives, tiny, tiny, tiny little bubbles. We had one lady who was allergic to sugar, and it was an immune response. It was called Haley-Haley's disease, and I'd never heard of it, but every time she ate sugar, she got these little itchy, teeny, tiny little rashes, and it was genetic. A lot of these are life-threatening. Some of them are just annoying. So we're going to go ahead and look at these through Audacity, through Nano Voice, through Abacus, and through Goodbye to Allergies. Okay, we had 2 people who volunteered, Pat and Karen. Pat, you were first. Let's open your mic, Pat. And is there anything that you would like to test? Chocolate, wheat, bread, milk, cheese? Is there anything that you would like to test? Pat, I'm having trouble. Do you not have a microphone? Let me give you a phone number that you can call in, and we'll just do this by phone. Oops, that's the wrong number. And we will be using a polycount. So if Pat has something she wants to test, we are going to go ahead and do a pre-test and a post-test on her. Pat, are you with us? Can you call us? Let's look at one of the articles, and you can download this from the site, the allergy site. And this is just a passage that we've had tested from a kid book. Pat, are you having trouble? It shows you don't have a microphone, so please call us. We'll give you a couple more seconds here to give us a call, or we'll jump to Karen. Karen, I'm going to unmute your mic. Can you talk to us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, who's speaking?
Karen Hassel.
Karen, okay. You want to call us on the phone and make this a little more accurate, Karen?
Okay.
I'll put the number up for you. It'll just be more clear. It's a little bit muffled through the computer. Do you have in mind something that you want to test?
I volunteered once before, and we were testing for that electrical thing, and it never got finished. It got mixed up. Two of them got bunched together. I was wondering, can we do that, or is that not a good idea?
It's not a good idea to test something electrical like this, because we'd have to hunt for something.
Okay.
See, what messes up electrical? Minerals. Do you have any chocolate? Or is there foods that you don't eat?
Pardon?
Are there foods that you do not eat?
Soy. And I don't keep it in the house.
Okay, how about some chocolate? We could test some chocolate.
I seem to do okay with chocolate.
Well, let's just try it and see.
Okay.
You want to call us on the phone?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, I sent you on the number. So we are going to do a pre-reading with her and then have her wait about 10-15 minutes and then look again and have her read the same thing. So the chocolate is going to be the variable here. Okay, we're getting feedback, Karen, so I am going to mute your microphone here. Okay, talk to me. Well, I'm still getting feedback.
Do you want a recording or just to check your mic?
I want to do a recording of you, but can you turn off your speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, this is,
That help?
yes, that's great. Okay, we're going to go to the Nano Voice and open that. And the Nano Voice is the one that you can download. It's waiting for everybody. So Karen is going, I'm going to put this up in the corner here. Karen is going to, we're going to test chocolate on you. So she's going to start reading. There's a little 0 here. So that's going to start climbing when she starts to read this Velveteen Rabbit. So if she's reading the same thing both times, then we should be able to see how chocolate affects her. So I'm going to hit microphone, and for those of you who are just now downloading this, there is a 2-hour class there, and there's a little instruction sheet on how to do all this. So Karen, as soon as I just don't have enough room here, do I? As soon as I hit this OK, you're going to start reading this passage, okay?
Okay.
And when you get to 500, it'll just stop on its own. You ready?
Okay.
Go.
What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were, something just flashed in front of my screen so I can't see it. I don't know what to say. Okay, now it's clear again. When they were lying side by side near the nursery fender, before Mary came to the tidy room, does it mean having things that buzz inside of you and stick out handle? Really? Real? How isn't it how you're made to the skin horse? This is the thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for the first long, long time, not just play, but really loves you, then you become real. Okay, Rabbit?
Okay, we got 500 here.
Okay.
And
Sorry for that.
well, we probably should do it over, just to make it absolute. So let's kill this, and I will try not to put something in front of you, because that was totally my fault. Okay, I will move this over on the other side and then gently move this back in here. Okay, you ready to go?
I'll give it another try. Okay. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside of you and a stick-out handle? Real isn't how you're made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for the first long, long time and you just play with a really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt, said the rabbit? Sometimes, said skin horse, for this was very truthful.
Okay.
When you are...
Thank you. I love that story. So we're going to save this as Karen H. Chocolate. And we did it at 7:04. Okay, so you're going to go eat some chocolate while we do another kind of experiment.
Okay, should I hang up my phone then?
Yes.
Okay. I will do. Thank you.
And we'll come back to you. That was good. Okay, we'll come back to her at about 7:20, 7:25 or so and see how she's doing with her chocolate. And if you can hold it in your mouth and savor it, that'll probably get to you a little quicker, get in your system. Okay, I've saved it. Now we're going to wait till later because we have to have time for her body to have an effect. So now we're going to use Audacity, and this is for time. This is for frequency domain. We just did time domain, so we're going to do frequency domain. And let's try to go back to Pat. Pat was having trouble with her microphone. Pat, who's this? Pat, is that really you?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you want to call in on the phone so we can make it really clear?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Do you have a landline or a cell phone?
I'm going to use a landline.
Great. You have the number?
No, 740.
698-1881.
Wait a minute. 740-65.
740-698-1881.
760-698.
No, 740.
Okay.
698-1881.
Okay, 740-698-1881.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Should I call right away or?
Yes, call right now.
Okay.
So as we look at Pat's voice here in a second, we're going to start with the nano very clear. Let me get that up so everybody can see it. Just a clear slate, and what happened is every time she spoke, the frequencies of her voice, A is 440 and C is 130 and cycles per second, the computer program began to accumulate information on her screen. Hold on, Pat. Her, you're going to make up something just in a few minutes. Hold on a second, okay? So we're looking at these notes and we want to make them balanced across the scale. So here A is missing and D sharp is too high. So if we give A and it works, then that means this person is a conventional person. They're left brain, so we give them what they lack. But this person happened to be a right brain person, give them more of what they have too much of. And as we look at this, we see that those are opposites by light orange and blue. So we had to end up giving him D sharp, something he had too much of, and that made his voice coherent. So when we come back to Karen, what we want to look at is, did that chocolate make her voice more coherent? So we're going to have to wait for her for about 20 minutes or so, and we're going to come back to her right after we get through doing Pat's voice. Now, Pat's going to talk to us for 30 seconds, and you can see the seconds here. This is the Audacity program, and I'm going to push this red button, and Pat's going to talk about any allergy issues she may have.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Okay. Sherry, I appreciate your talking to me. Apparently I'm allergic to everything. I don't know which one of course it is. But this is a great science to pursue.
Okay, let's stop here. We'll give you 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. So I need to be a little more talkative. Yeah, I already downloaded the programs before, and I think everything works, but I haven't really tried them out yet. So I'm hoping to be able to be successful in using the programs. And this is a pretty exciting technology to me.
Okay, I let it go a little more. Thank you. I let it go a little more than normal because you had some dead space in here. I wanted to cut that out. You're going to use the scissors and clip it out. We still have, this is pretty dead right here too. Let's save this, export as Pat on Allergies. Well, that's what we're going to name it. We're going to put it in our waves file. And we can play this. Well, I thought we could play it. There's a lot of hissing in this as it's playing. We don't really have enough volume. In the textbook, it'll tell you not to accept a volume like this.
Oh.
So let me see if I can turn up the volume just a bit. No, it's up as high as it can go. Let's try putting this volume up about half. And let's do another one and see what we get. Okay, can you talk again?
Yes, sure. Thank you. I really appreciate your talking to me, and I think there's a lot of good stuff in this theory, and that I think will help many people, especially allergies. That seems to be the greatest, everything is allergies today, you know. The doctors don't really know what to do with it. Don't do this, don't do that, but pretty soon you eliminate everything out of your diet and you have nothing to eat. So I'm trying to be consistent. I'm probably a little nervous here, so I hope it comes out okay. And
if a cat came into the room or a telephone ring or something, you can always pause it and then go back and chop it out. So I'm going to export it again, and I'm going to call it the same thing, Pat on Allergies, because I sort of want to dump that other one. So let's play it and see if it's loud enough now. So I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but I think it's going to be okay.
thank you.
So the next thing that we do is open up Abacus, and that's another of the programs that you can download. So we're going to import that WAV file. A lot of times I forget where I put it. I put it in WAV this time. And it's changing that from, well, you're allergic to a lot of things and da-da-da. You know, I really expected you to have more methylation problems.
What did you say?
I expected you to have some methylation problems.
Oh.
You know, Karen said she had an electricity problem, but look at this. You have an electricity problem here. 60 cycles. There's some short or something on your phone line or hiss or something. But this gray grid is normal. Anything below it is too low. Anything above it is too high. And you have a lot of the pieces of yours that's too high. So I'm going to hit points, and it will just pick the points it thinks is important. Now, it did not pick these two because they're in the gray grid. There are things here I would like to have it pick. This one, for instance, I think is important. So I'm going to get rid of this one that doesn't seem very important because it's with another one, and that'll probably take care of it. And the textbook shows you how to go in and pull all of these extra points. I just think that's all by itself. It's a little trauma spike, so we should look at it. So I'm going to put a little H there for directionality. What this has done is take all of the frequencies that it thought was important, and we trained it. Here's one at 344. Right there it is, and it shows that it's a high. -1, -2, -3. You only have 1 -2, and it's at 81,641. And you have several +2s, +1, +2, +3. It really is a problem if it gets up here in +3. So we're going to fill this in. Can we just say Pat Allergies, and you'll remember that? And we did it online. Do you want to give me your birthday?
Yeah, it's June 26, 1946.
June 26, 46. Okay. And gender, female, and issue, allergies. With being allergic to everything, I think it's going to be methylation, so we're probably going to need to do 2 programs on you. So what's going on here is we're going to save this list, and I'm going to hit this little Rubik's Cube kind of thing down here, and it will say, where do you want to keep that? And I will say, I want to keep it in my GNS file. Just that list of frequencies. Sometimes people get in trouble when they go up here and try to save. You're just saving the picture, not the frequency. So the next thing to look at is allergies. So I'm going to go to my public software and open up allergies. Which one? I think this one's the most current. And all you have to do is go find that GNS file that we dumped in there. You want to give everything its unique name. Don't use any slashes because it won't work. So there's all the data, and there's all the frequencies. So if we were looking at that abacus program, not that one, that's about the beer bottle guy. It's about somebody who flipped a beer bottle in his eye. So what the program did was take those frequencies and transfer them over here to a program where we can look at the output. So all we have to do now is hit report, and we're going to get herbs and hormones and medications. Are you on any medication?
No.
Okay, so we don't need that one. So we just hit report. and it'll begin to show us your allergies. The first thing is a note correlate chart, and this helps show which note is the most in stress. And in your case, it's a 4 on A, using your resources. That's another indicator that it's management of the incoming resources. So there is a set of what we call allergy cards. I don't know if I can see the note at A here. No, I can't. Try to see. But if we were to look at these cards, we can begin to understand the correlations between each of these. Here's one of A sharp. Look at trying. With some of these things I don't understand. GAD 67, that's wheat. Interleukin, the immune system has a hit on it. Chlamydia pneumoniae. Now, this is not your stuff. This is just everything that appears in A sharp. We'll try to go back to this. But we can print this. I'm going to say, let's put it in a PDF file. Let's make a folder, and let's call it Pat on Allergies. And I can say to my computer, print that and put it in that file so I can send it to her online. And it'll ask me where I want it, and I will go to Pat Allergies and put it in there in preparation for sending it on to her. So we have another clue here that it's resource management. So we may have to use another computer program here. GAD 67 is high. Okay, you've got a problem with wheat. Gluten, even rye. Gliadin, there's several different kinds of gluten and gliadin, and your problems with it, the genetic problems with it, have been activated. So again, I'm going to print that. And I should have set this up already to send it directly over there. I think I will. I'm going to kill these and go back and say to my report, set up so I don't have to do that each time. We're going to go to the PDF file and just hit it again. Now, why this is not coming up? There it is. It's a slow computer. See, we did that one already. We did this one already. Okay, NAC, acetylcysteine. If that is low, you're not using B12, and you can buy this at your health food store. That helps use Castle's intrinsic factor. It helps use niacin. It helps create niacin. Helps with cholesterol. Helps with DNA and RNA. So that would be one thing that is low that you would just go to your health food store and purchase. Chondroitin sulfate is low. That's a smaller form of glucosamine, so it might mean that you have some issues with joints and stiffness with joints. It's saying it's related to histamines, and histamine and histidines are both related to allergy system. Hydrochloric acid may prevent and treat allergies. It's also reused to make other things in the body. Thyroid enzymes, for one, that it looks like there's either too much of it or your body's not using it. IgE is low. Immunoglobulin, so your body's not fighting this very well. So you're getting responses and your body's just kind of given up. At this point, since you cannot buy leukotrienes, I would send you to a practitioner who could give you that by frequency. The NAC you can buy at the health food store, but you cannot buy the leukotrienes. So here's a fatty acid that's too low. You can try coconut oil, some good salmon oil. You need that to use carnitine and to use some other things that help the body prevent inflammation. So you might have inflammation in the system. Not only do we need to run you through napping, but we need to run you through inflammation. And we have only a few more minutes before we need to go back to Karen and the chocolate. So just hold on a second. We're going to save this one. We'll get to you in about 4 minutes. So again, you have the genes even for gluten problems of GAD67 and GAD65. So both of the genes that don't allow you to use glutathione and hydrogenase. And this glutathione you can buy at your health food store, and it's called reduced glutathione. I've seen it several places, but this is a problem. It's a genetic problem, and it's a processing problem in your system. So that's shown up several times. Cortisol is high. Human growth hormone is high. We want to try to lessen this cortisol. Again, I would send you to a practitioner to have that done. I don't believe in these products that are across the counter. They just don't work well. Okay, and this says that you have lactobacillus plantarum, but it's low, so who cares? This says may prevent or treat allergies. So maybe we should send that on to you so you can look it up and see what it is. Again, the proteins. The proteins are coming up, gliadin. Gene responsible for gluten. You know, your whole bowel system may be inflamed because of this. You can go online and look at foods that cause inflammation, because you're certainly showing some. These are poisons that you have a problem with. Poison oak. I'll just send this on. I'm trying to hurry to meet my deadline here of 4 minutes. So do some things around the house. Okay, we're going to come back to you in just a minute and show some other things. But right now, you hold on, and we're going to have you hang up and have Karen call the number again so that she can read the rabbit again, and we're going to come right back to you once she does that. So we're going to hang up on you, and Karen, go ahead and call in again. Is it still echoing then? Okay, we're going to open this again.
I'm setting off my
Speaker, that would be good.
okay, I muted everything. Does that sound better?
Yes, it does. That's great. Okay, you're going to read the same thing. How was your chocolate?
Well, it didn't have to be straight chocolate. It had enough coffee in it.
Okay, so we're testing nuts and chocolate and toffee. So if we were doing this for real, we would test nuts by themselves, toffee by themselves, and chocolate. So we don't know what the culprit is at this point. But we're just doing this as a demonstration anyway.
Okay.
So
that was the only chocolate I had.
we should have prepared better and warned you. Okay, I'm going to hit the okay here, and you're going to start reading again. Okay?
Okay.
Go.
What is the... I guess I have to start over. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came in to tidy this room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside of you and stick out handles? Real isn't how you're made, said the skin horse. It's the thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, but that he was very truthful. When you are real, you don't hurt inside. Does it happen all at once? Like being wound up? He asked. Not, nor bit by bit. It sometimes happens all at once, said the silk horse. You become, it takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you're real, you can't be ugly except for people who don't understand. I suppose you are real, said the rabbit, and then he wished he had not said that, for he thought that the skin horse might be sensitive, but the skin horse only smiled.
Isn't that a perfect story?
Oh, really?
I love this story. So this is Karen and Post Chocolate. I can spell chocolate, CHOCOLATE. So we're going to save this and then do a comparison. And this is a little difficult to do in trying to do the other one in the middle of it. So we're going to open them both and see what changed.
Should I hang up the phone?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see if there's any big changes here. And I don't see, well, there is a little bit, but her F sharp is still biggest and strongest. So it didn't affect the processing of her kidneys. Now, remember that F is the kidney organ and F sharp is the processing, and that's the chart that you can download. It increased her G a little bit, actually made it better because 42 is kind of normal here, and she was down at 9 and 11, so it increased her ability to use minerals. Now, chocolate has a lot of magnesium in it. That may be the issue. Changed her G sharp from yellow, thinking about it, and it went to green afterwards. That just means it gave her probably some energy. The biggest one is in A sharp, and it sent her A sharp from 37 to 147. The tallest one was 76, and altogether it had 147 hits. That means that this chocolate raised her body in some way, increased her energy in her immune system. The A sharp is the immune system. So if she wants some energy, probably the caffeine hit in chocolate, but it zipped her up here, made her speedy when it came to her immune system. So there's a little bit of stress here in the immune system when she ate the chocolate, toffee, and nuts. Now, if we did this again, we probably ought to separate them. Toffee has a lot of sugar in it, and that may be what we're looking at. That sugar is an F sharp. We could look at some other kinds of sugars. But your constant there was the chocolate. Oh, I'm sorry. The constant was the rabbit story. Your variable was the chocolate. But it could be bananas or carrots or beer or anything that you want it to be. But it definitely caused a change here in her. It zipped up her. And I don't mean zipped up as closed up. I mean zipped up as gave energy to her A sharp. And that is the immune system. I would think it's the caffeine. So we need to try this again with just the chocolate and not all the rest of it together. So thank you, Karen, for helping us do that. And we are going to go back to our allergies. And we've looked at all the reports. Let's look at the predictive report. if you don't take care of this, these are the other kinds of things that are going to be a problem. And you can see here that it's glutamate, decarboxylase, and glutamate anhydrase. You're not using glutathione very well. If you're using any kind of aspartame, you need to get off that, because that interferes with all of this. Also, there's a lack of detox. So I'm going to print this for you, put it in your PDF file. Now that's great for looking at, it's only going to get worse here. So Pat, do you want me to send this? I'll just show people how to do it. So if I go to my email, and so it's decided not to work at the moment. So let's compose something. And we can say reports. And I'm going to go to Pat's allergy reports and catch them and slide them over there, depending on how you have your computer set up. And the other thing that we need to send to her, which I usually send beforehand, is the pastels folder. And this is get information on how to read those reports. And that's important. Read this first, and it just tells you all the pieces. That is waiting for you as a download at the allergy site where you can download the software. So I'm going to slide that over there, because that gives all the instructions. There's an important read this first, that's part of those pastel instructions. And there's a nutrient assimilation chart. And we can look at that. She had I shut the wrong one. She had cysteine, NAC, acetylcysteine in stress. So we could go look at cysteine. It was too low, so she can just take that, but she also needs B6, B12, folate, selenium, and vitamin E to make all of it work, to metabolize coenzyme A, which makes amino acids work better. And look at this. It is formed from methionine. That's why she has it low, because she can't use methionine. And you can buy that at your health food store, which seems to be the major key for you, that you do not have the glutathione and the methionine to make all of this work. So I think we've solved your problem here. Oops, no, I'll say problem. So when you give me your email address, I'll just send this right on. I'll just write a little note there and say, enjoy. And we'll send that on. If you want to send that to me, everybody's voice is echoing. Is it still going on then? I am not hearing it. And nobody else has their file open. Okay. I want to go you can drop it into any of these. So let's look at, you don't need the note correlate chart. Let's just see what this comes up with. Same thing, gluten, GAD67. GAD67, if it goes on, causes inflammation of the pancreas. The genes are the problem, the proteins are a problem, all three of them are a problem. So this is long term, and it's genetic in your family. The other thing that's an issue is your methylation mapping. Let's see where this is coming from. And these kind of go hand in hand. So I want to find a clean methylation map. Trials, here's a map. And this is the map that we showed before where you can go to heartfixer.com. We put that up for you. So here's the methylation, and I'm just going to drop her file in. Just right back to the GNS file. There's 50-some programs, and we have shared about 25, 30 of them on our Guardian program. Some of them are repeating. So we don't need the note correlate chart. We know it today. So here it comes, and we're going to look at allergies. Oh, that's allergies again. I do not want allergies. Can you see what I did? Okay, it says MTR. So that's the protein. So MTR, some of the first pieces of using methionine. And it's when it's in a blue box like that, it's genetic. Okay, MTFR, that's another step backwards. So it's genetic and the body repleting itself and moving over to using resources. Dump and Sammy, okay? Again, the body's inability to replete its DNA. And Sammy, right there. We're looking for root cause here. Acetylcysteine, NAC, and tyrosine. So tyrosine would mess with your thyroid. What was the other one? I forgot that fast. Tyrosine and acetylcysteine. So acetylcysteine is NAC, right here. Okay, that got us to root cause. So tyrosine or low thyroid is causing a problem with the ability to use methionine from a genetic level, and it's interfering with your body's ability to reestablish your DNA. So we know now that tyrosine, you could go back to HyperHealth that we showed you how to get a free program of. You could go to Wikipedia. You could go look these things up. You could go look at heartfixer.com that we put in. Whose chart am I working on? Let's go see. It is Pat on allergies. We could do the same thing and look at Karen on allergies. Well, that's not either one of the Karens that we had in here. Did I totally lose your GNS file? Does anybody remember where I filed? Oh, that one, the other one was Envoy or Nano Voice, so we wouldn't have a DNS file for it. But we could use anybody's. This one is Pat. So it tells us this tyrosine is the issue, creating the energy of the body. And you've got two genetics here. Using NAC acetylcysteine might work as a stopgap, but the real problem is the enzymes for using glutathione, GAD here, and methionine. And cysteine is made from methionine. So it really is the enzymes for glutathione that's the problem here. Karen, yours was the nano. We didn't do an Audacity for you. So we can combine this and say save as and put it right in Pat Allergies here. Instead of clean methylation map, we can say Pat's methylation map. And we can send that right to her. So now we know that her main issue is enzymes to be able to use glutathione and methionine. The problem is stemming from problems with wheat. And if we can just get you off wheat for a while, one of the things that helps to stay off wheat is phosphatidylserine, S-E-R-I-N-E. It's one of the things that people crave in wheat. So you might look at that. But wherever you are, you likely need to go find a practitioner that can give you some of this information back in a frequency way. Because I can't remember what the pieces were that you couldn't buy. Oh, the immunoglobulins. So you can go online to Found Health Options. Whoops, that's not it. And look at clinical services. And there's that down at the bottom. You can look at all the practitioners that are near you. Or you can call our office and set up a private session so that we can try to help you that way. But immunoglobulins, when they're in stress, it's just got an immune system on your whole body. Well, these maps are getting better every day. You see people's houses in here. That's crazy. Pretty soon they're going to be able to drive right up to your door and knock, with these maps. You can go look at that. If you find something that you cannot purchase, like a gene or a protein, then you need to go see a practitioner about this. So the idea when we do the nano voice in testing is that it's going to look kind of ragged, And toast, we want something that is very smooth all the way across. And in Karen's case, it messed up her A sharp. So you can go right back and look at those charts and see what A sharp stands for. Let's look at a smooth correlate chart. So you can download this from nanovoice.org. Sorry, coughing in your ear. So we go down and look at A sharp, body detoxifying, degeneration of body processes. So you can go look at each one of these and see what they stand for. One was an A, that was the problem, and the other one was the A sharp became too large. So you can look at these charts and back and forth, and you can join us for happy hour and learn how to do this again and again and again. Most of these programs work the same because there's absolute codes in our language. And when we look at the body, there is a recurrent laryngeal nerve that the vocal cords go through. It's in the parasympathetic nerve bundle, and that bundle is what keeps your body in stasis. So every time you talk and the body is vibrating the voice, then it ends up helping the brain. So the brain is a central processing unit. The parasympathetic nerve system gives all kind of information back and forth the body, and the recurrent laryngeal nerve is in that bundle. So everything that happens to you seems to have a manifestation through the voice. Now, one of the things I want to caution you about is bioacoustically, almost everything is something else. If you have weak ankles, it can indicate that there is a potassium issue or you have weak ankles. Because bioacoustically speaking, almost everything is something else. Now, what do you see here? What word do you see? What word do you see now? Do you see me, M-E, or do you see Y-O-U? Bioacoustically speaking, almost everything is something else. But when you see something that has so many issues in it, like pathways that say GAD, glutathione anhydrolase, and glutathione peroxidase, you know that it's the enzymes of wheat because she has it as an activator, she has it as a genome, she has it as a protein. Don't be trying to go off wheat in the middle of the day after you've already eaten wheat. It just doesn't work. Your body's going to start craving it. So get the San Diego and L.A. Someone asked, does frequency mean you can listen to the sounds and help the body fix the problem? Absolutely you can. Look at some of those videos, the miracles of non-medicine. You can hear these doctors talking about what happened by providing the brain the correct frequency. We will find you somebody, I don't know if there's anybody in LA that could take on this kind of a serious issue, but we could, I think Leanna, oh, you're south, boy, we'll figure it out tomorrow or Monday. So as we work with this, you're going to download Audacity and Abacus. See if you can get those registered. And also the allergy report. Remember, we're recording this. And it's going to be running for the next 10 days. Please post it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your wherever, and let other people know that this is going on, and they can take advantage of this also. Get together with your friends. Start a bioacoustic center. We will help you with marketing. If you tell us what local radio stations have talk shows about wellness, we'll get in touch with them. Please join us for happy hour. You can learn more about what is going on. We do demonstrations there. You can bring your clients and say, oh, look at what's happening here. You can volunteer to get your voice done. I don't know what we're doing on Tuesday. I don't even remember what we did last week. But there's several happy hours up and running under, I don't know if it's Information Central, but someplace there's all these archives. I should find out on the site. That's pretty awful. I don't know where that is. So you can get more information or set up an appointment. There's the phone number. Download that NanoVoice software, nanovoice.org. You can shoot me a question, sherryonair@gmail. We're also trying to set up a blog so that people can ask questions about what's going on. We have our own radio show, and I just got confirmation from David Oates while we were doing this show. He is the guy who does reverse speech. He's in Australia. He's going to be on the show with us. It's every Sunday at noon. Doreen Davis, she's written 3 books on sound and healing sound. She's going to be with us on Sunday at noon on Blog Talk Radio. We also record those and video them so that you can come back and actually watch the show also. Lots of information on soundhealthoptions.com and lots of information on YouTube under my name and also under Sound Health. We hope that all of you end up joining Guardian. We hope you end up loving this and loving the idea of health for the people, by the people. We love the idea of the body green, that the body has the ability to heal itself. And it's not the sounds that heal you, it's the sounds that trigger your body into healing you and do what ought to have been done all along. So join us for Guardians of the People. That's right on our front page. You'll get nutrition, software of the month, and abacus when you join. And those are year registrations. It's not like the 30 days. I think, and this is my total prejudice and my soapbox, that to survive, the human race needs human bioacoustics, bioacoustic biology, and we desperately need people to train practitioners, clinicians, instructors. And if you want to join us, we'll try to help you find a way. We'll work with you. Some people we worked with for months before we can get it done. Doreen's going to be on Blog Talk tomorrow. I don't know when David Oates is going to be there. I'll have to ask him what fits into his schedule. Colleen, call the office Monday and we'll put a tracer on your kit. We sent that out early last week. It should have gotten there by now. You got the preview class. That's good. No problem. Don't panic. You'll know all the stuff with the first day anyway. It's okay. Colleen signed up to take the class next week. And you know you can take it over. So, and we have tutors. There'll be a tutor here for you. The pretext, I'll see if I can get those articles to you. You probably have most of them anyway. So I'll see if we can get you the pretext ASAP. I'll see if I can find that right away and send it to you. It has the schedule, it has the glossary, so yes, you need those. Okay, I think I have answered everybody's questions. Judy Chambers is above San Francisco, so that's too far away. We hope that all of you will come to visit if you get near, and please join us on Facebook. And please help us spread the word about this. You know, people say, it's a free class, it can't be any good. Far from it with this class. This class is real. It's like Oprah giving cars to all of her audience members. We're giving you quality information. Thank you. Somebody says this was a great and interesting class. I hope all the classes we provide to you is great and interesting. We are on our way to changing history, to making bioacoustics the medicine of the future and involving the public. There's two ways to make something happen. Top down, which the government says has to happen, or PR, or big articles, or a big university getting behind it, or bottom up from the people. And I wanted this to come from the people because I really thought if we started out with the FDA and all those people, well, one, it cost us millions of dollars. We didn't have it. We're doing all this on a shoestring. And the other is they would take it and not allow people to have it and to use it. And it really needs to be in the hands of the people. Your health is your business. Yes, there should be thousands of people trying to get on these calls, not just this handful. I think we have about 40 people here, and we had 65 for our bio diet last week. But people now know that these are recorded, and so there are people listening to it every day, and it's because you people are notifying people saying, here it is, you need this. And allergies is a biggie. Look at what we just did for Pat and Karen. Well, we didn't do a whole lot for Karen, just about her chocolate, but I think we did a lot for Pat. So we have room for hundreds, if not thousands of people. So help us make this the medicine of the future. And if you loved it, post it on Facebook and let us know. Let people know this is real. I certainly do appreciate all of you being here. I'll put my email address on there, cherryonair@gmail.com. So if you have other questions, you can call me. And Pat, would you give me your email address privately so I can send this? Thank you, Kaj. That is sweet. Kaj is on with us. Kaj has a website that has a lot of information about healing and sound. Kaj, would you post your website for us? And you have some classes on there too, don't you? Is it thesoundwoman.com? Thesoundlady.com. Okay. So go visit Kaj's website too. She's been doing this stuff for 15 years. So thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you later. Remember, this is recorded, and the announcement will be on the front page of Sound Health Options. Got it, Pat. I'll send it right over. Okay.